If you cannot control your environment, your schedule, and your impulses, your body fat will control you. And I know that may sound a bit harsh, but every single client who transformed their body in 2025 didn't discover the secret workout or magical diet or whatever. They embraced one uncomfortable truth: fat loss requires friction against comfort. And today, I'm going to show you the brutal behaviors that absolutely skyrocket fat loss when you actually commit to them. Now, before we get into it, I have stepped on 3 bodybuilding stages. I've run 6 marathons. I've done 2 high rocks competitions, and I've coached hundreds of busy, career-driven men lose 30 to 50 pounds while working full-time jobs and raising families. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the uncomfortable behaviors that separate people who stay stuck from people who get lean. So I'm going to break this down into 3 brutal fat loss accelerators. Number 1 is the environmental discipline. Number 2 is the hunger tolerance. And then thirdly is the identity-based consistency. And now before we get into it, if you want access to my free fat loss group, the link will be in the description down below. I have a bunch of courses, ebooks, guides, recipe cookbooks, all these things, all completely for free. The link will be in the description down below. So let's get into points number 1, environmental discipline. This is the invisible decision maker. Here's the brutal truth. Most people don't lack discipline. I say this every single video, but most people just live in environments that make fat loss impossible. And don't get me wrong, we live in a world, a society where comfort, fast food, everything is so convenient. You walk down the street, you drive on the highway, fast food places, gas stations, snacks, everywhere. You are bombarded by it. You go on your phone, you got Uber Eats, you got any delivery app that'll deliver food straight to your door within seconds, just a finger tap away, right? So we do live in an environment where it could not be any easier to get fat, to order food, to order junk food. But at the same time, we can use that towards our advantage. Now, food cues drive eating behavior a lot more than actual real hunger. And research consistently shows that proximity and visibility of food increases consumption. Because realistically speaking, if you did not have access to all this convenient food at all times, you probably will not be fat, right? Like if there's more friction involved, like imagine if you had to work really, really hard every single day to order fast food, to order junk food. The likelihood of you actually doing that and following through on that every single day requires so much hard work, requires so much discipline. And you probably will be like, you know what? This is kind of like not even worth it. I have to go through all this effort and sacrifices just to get this junk food. No thanks, right? Imagine living in a world where there was so much friction involved, where getting junk food is difficult, almost becomes impossible. We will live in a world full of people that are healthy, energetic, because they won't be consuming all this junk food. But we live in the opposite world, unfortunately. So the uncomfortable solution is simple. If you can, try your absolute best to remove friction for the good behaviors like eating healthy, walking, exercising, sleeping, all these things, and add friction to bad behaviors. What that means is very simple. Not buying trigger foods. Sometimes I wonder to myself, are you trying to make fat loss impossible for yourself? I look in your kitchen, I look in your pantry, and there's just junk food everywhere. And it's like, well, why? If you know these foods cause you to overeat and cause you to gain weight, why even put it in your environment? It doesn't make any sense. Secondly, keep protein ready to eat. So replace that junk food in your pantry, in your fridge, with prepped proteins. And going back to what I said earlier, we live in a world full of convenience where you can order food, but at the same time, you can order healthy food. There are so many meal prep delivery companies all across the States. I work with Icon Meals, which is a meal prep delivery company. They deliver meals straight to your door, either bulk protein, so you can order chicken breast, fish, beef, eggs, egg white, whatever, or you can order like actual meals, which is even easier. I bulk order the proteins. And so that's like, I can literally show you guys my freezer if you guys want. But there's only chicken breast in my freezer. Like that is it. It's literally filled to the brim. Like I cannot put anything else in there. Only chicken breast, only protein. And how convenient does that make it for me to hit my protein goals, to eat more chicken? It makes it very easy. It almost becomes effortless because now, whenever I'm hungry, I go into my kitchen, I don't get tempted by junk food because I have no junk food. And instead, I'm like, oh, look, I got chicken breast. How convenient. Let me eat this, right? Make it as easy as possible to eat healthy and make it as difficult as possible to eat unhealthy, right? So just because Uber Eats exists does not mean you have to use it. You can use a healthy meal prep delivery service to get food delivered to you that is healthy in the same amount of time, right? So keep either prepped meals handy or bulk proteins handy in your fridge or freezer, whatever. And on top of that too, in your pantry, get rid of the donuts, get rid of the cookies and replace them with protein bars. Like if you are a snacker, I don't really condone snacking because a lot of people don't take it into account. They don't track it. But if you want to snack, just replace the bad snacks with the good snacks. I kid you not. There are protein bars out there that literally taste like candy bars. If you were to blindfold me and you were to do a taste test of like a Snickers bar and like a David protein bars, which are delicious, by the way, and have the most insane macros, 150 calories, 28 grams of protein, cannot beat it. They literally taste identical to me. The chocolate chip flavor tastes like just a candy bar, right? And so if you are prone to snacking, if you already are gonna snack, if you need to have snacks in the house, just replace the bad snacks with the good snacks. Boom, problem solved, right? And then water, hydration, make it visible. Have a water cup or a water bottle on you at all times because we often, more often than not, mistake hunger for dehydration. So whenever you think that you're hungry, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not. You're just thirsty. You're dehydrated. So before you even think about eating, before you think about snacking, chug 2 big glasses of water first, and you will realize that number 1, you were not even hungry to begin with, or number 2, you weren't as hungry. And that'll save you hundreds of calories every single day and thousands of calories every single week. And this habit alone could literally be the difference between you being in a consistent calorie surplus, which makes you gain fat, or you being in a calorie deficit, which makes you lose body fat. Small little habits, small little changes. Like a lot of people think they have to completely change their lifestyle, completely overhaul everything. Like, no, just making small changes, one at a time, can make a huge difference. Now, if you don't like water for whatever reason, and you're a kid, or you act like a kid, oh, I don't want to drink water. Okay, whatever, fine. You can have a 0-calorie beverage instead. So instead of having the sugary soda, the sugary juices, the sugary whatever, the liquid calories that do not fill you up whatsoever, replace that for a 0-calorie alternative. I went grocery shopping yesterday and they have these 1-liter sparkling water bottles, but they're flavored. They have them in like orange flavors, strawberry, lime, lemon. And I bought one, it was 99 cents, and it was delicious. It was so good. And because it had that carbonation, that fizziness, that sparkliness, it actually like keeps you pretty full for a really long time. So if you don't want to be drinking water, replace it for like a carbonated drink that is 0 calories, and you're likely not going to be as hungry, like at all. So there's a pro tip for you guys. And then again, if you drink soda, just replace it for a diet soda. And then lastly, keep junk food out of reach. I just talked about this, but yeah, when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. If you live with other people, if you live with children, whatever, have them lock it up, right? Out of sight, out of mind. This may sound very extreme to some people, but every lean, shredded person you know, they live this way. Subconsciously, whether they realize it or not, they have these small little things that they do that cause them to eat healthy and add friction to eating unhealthy. Now, here's a clown example. I had one client who kept cookies in his pantry for his guests or for his friends whenever they would come over, right? And now Guess what happened? He ate them every single night because he's a snacker. Now, once we removed the foods, I know it sounds simple, boom, problem solved. No willpower required, no discipline, no having to stare into your pantry saying no to the cookies because they were physically not there. Even if he wanted cookies, he could not eat them because they were not there. Environment. This is everything. Moving on to point 2, hunger tolerance, the skill that nobody teaches you. Fat loss, as we all know, requires a calorie deficit, eating less calories than you burn on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, consistently, which means you will experience hunger because naturally speaking, if you're eating less calories than you burn, your body will send signals to your brain saying, hey, we're eating less calories than we burn. We're hungry. So it is inevitable. So don't be scared of hunger. Embrace it. Be like, instead of worrying about it, like, oh no, I'm hungry. What should I do? There are definitely ways that you can combat that by staying hydrated, eating higher volume foods, right, that are lower in calories, higher in volume. So these are all the strategies that I use personally and give to all my clients. Like when I've done 3 bodybuilding shows, I literally use these strategies of staying hydrated, eating lower calorie dense foods like salads, more veggies, leaner proteins that keep you really, really full for really low calories. And I never really experienced hunger. But of course, naturally speaking, there will come a point in time when you will get hungry randomly throughout the day. It happens, embrace it. So instead of worrying about it and panicking and saying, oh no, like this is bad, I'm hungry, let me revert to food right away, which a lot of people automatically start doing and is why they're probably fat. Instead of that, rewire or reframe it in your mind and say, okay, I am hungry. Let me not panic. Let me not stress eat. Let me embrace this feeling. Let me label this as, hey, this calorie deficit thing, this fat loss thing, it is working. It is working in real time. So if you could just shift your perspective and shift your mindset around hunger and food noise, I think you're going to be far better off. But here's the brutal reality when it comes to experiencing hunger. Hunger is not an emergency. You have to keep in mind, not only 100 years ago, right? Like we did not have immediate access to food. We could not just like snack randomly, right? We were in the trenches. We were in the jungle. We were hunting for food. Like we can go days without eating. So just because you did not have your mid-afternoon snack, you didn't have your breakfast, you didn't have your lunch, does not mean that you're automatically gonna like die. And a lot of people think that. Of course, not actually, but like at least they act like that. But it is just a signal. And studies show that hunger fluctuates in waves and often dissipates if ignored temporarily. So if you can just wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes after experiencing hunger, just 20 minutes, literally set a timer on your phone, do whatever, keep yourself busy, keep yourself occupied. You may notice, and you probably will notice that you're not actually hungry anymore. It's crazy. But you have to keep yourself occupied because if you're constantly thinking about food, when is my next meal? And you go on your Instagram, you go on your Snapchat, you go on your TikTok, and you only see on your For You page, food, 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 recipes, mukbangs, people eating food. That is part of your environment, right? That is still part of your environment. And so get rid of that. Same way you should physically get rid of like all the junk food in your environment, you should mentally in your phone, right? Get rid of all the junk food. If you always see junk food on your phone, yeah, you're going to be craving more junk food because you see it all the time. It's going to trigger something in you to be like, oh my goodness, that looks so good. The way he ate that, that looks so delicious, blah, 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 blah. And I want to eat it. So fix your physical environment in your kitchen, your friends, whatever, but then also fix your phone environment. What apps do you have on your phone? Who do you follow on social media? Do you follow people who just only eat and eat and eat and condone you and promote you to eat junk food or inspire you, motivate you to eat more junk food? Or do you follow people like me who would tell you not to do that, to eat healthy instead, to stay busy, keep occupied, right? So make sure that, yeah, you stay busy. You don't constantly think about food. You're not food focused. The people who succeed on their fat loss journey aren't obsessed over food. They use food as fuel. They don't view it as like comfort. They see it as like, this This is obviously part of life. It's part of our culture, right? In America, the Western world, in Africa, like everywhere, food is part of our lives. We sit down to eat breakfast together. We sit down to eat lunch together. We sit down to eat dinner together. It is a bonding thing. You go on a date, you go for food. You want to meet someone, you go for coffee. There's always food around. Food is always going to be involved. It is part of life. But it's not something that we need to obsess over every single meal. Oh, what am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to eat for lunch? Like, you should honestly like automate and systemize most of these things, which a lot of people don't. And that's why they're always thinking about the next meal, the next snack, grocery shopping, meal prep, Uber Eats, all these things. So one of the biggest mindset shifts that got me stage lean wasn't a diet change. It was learning that mild hunger is normal and something to be embraced and not to run away from. And it doesn't mean you're losing muscle right away or that your metabolism is broken or that you need a quick snack. No, 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 no. You don't need that. You don't. I promise you, you will survive. You will be okay. It means you're creating change. So once again, just change it in your mind, change the perspective. And now personally, during my 3 bodybuilding preps, I noticed hunger peaks passed within 15 to 20 minutes when I stayed busy. So instead of reacting, I just delayed my response. I just kept on working. I went on a walk. I called someone. I just did something. This single skill builds fat loss resilience. Now, if this video is resonating so far, be sure to go click subscribe down below because I go live every single day talking about fat loss, diet, nutrition tips. Anyway, moving on to point number 3, identity-based consistency. This is the ultimate multiplier. The most brutal but powerful point is this. Your results reflect your identity, not your intentions. How many people do you know personally, your friends, family members that tell you, I want to lose weight. I'm going to lose weight for the summer. I'm going to get 6-pack abs. The next 6 weeks, I'm going to lock in. People love talking. We all like to yap, 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 tell everyone what our goals are. But how many people actually follow through and stick to their commitments? Very few, right? I know obese people that are fat, 15, 20, 30% body fat. They love the idea of getting lean. And they'll tell themselves, like, yeah, on Monday, starting a new diet. Next week, I'll start going to the gym. Next month, next year, next whatever, after this trip, after this vacation, when I'm less busy. All these excuses, right? But nothing actually changes because you've told yourself this for the past how many years, yet you're still stuck in your current situation, getting nowhere. You may start, but then you immediately fall off because your identity is still that of a fat person, of an overweight person, right? And so people who say, I'm trying to lose weight, behave differently than people who say, I am someone who takes care of their body. I am someone who is lean. I am someone who's able to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Identity-based habits drive behavior automatically. And now behavioral research shows identity alignment increases adherence and habit persistence. So instead of chasing more motivation, adopt identity rules. Tell yourself this: I do not skip workouts. I'm the type of person, I am Cohnan, I don't skip workouts. I don't drink my calories daily. I move my body every single day. I go on daily walks. I eat protein at every meal. I don't snack randomly. I drink more water. That is who I am. That is my identity. I'm not going to try and do it. No, this is who I am. I am a fitness person. I am a healthy person. Tell yourself that. Identify yourself as that. Because guess what? Once you do, you're going to start taking actions that type of person will start to take. And then over time, you will become that person. Be, do, have. I love that. These rules remove decision fatigue, and that is how busy men not only lose the fat, but sustain fat loss without constantly thinking about it. Now, one of our clients, one entrepreneur, stopped asking, should I work out today? Should I meal prep today? Should I eat healthy today? No. He said, I am someone who trains. We reframed his mindset to an identity-based mindset, right? And guess what happened? Within 4 months, he lost 27 pounds. He had the same schedule, Same everything, just a different identity, right? And so here's my closing message to you. Fat loss is not complicated, but it is uncomfortable. It is not easy. There's a reason why 70% of Americans are obese and overweight, right? So you have to control your environment, both physically, mentally, on your phone, spiritually, as much as you can. Control it. You need to tolerate your hunger. Don't be scared if your stomach is growling for a split second throughout the day. Don't panic. You'll be fine. You will survive. You're not going to die. And then act like the person you want to become. If you want to become more like me, lean, shredded, six-pack abs, ask yourself this question. What would Conan do in this situation? Would he skip a workout? Would he not go on his walk? Would he skip his meal prep? Would he neglect his sleep? No. He would go on that walk regardless of how he felt. He would do the workout regardless of how he felt, regardless of how motivated he was. Look at whoever you want to be like. Top athletes, bodybuilder, any healthy person. Ask yourself, what would this type of person do in this situation? Would he sleep in? Would he skip a workout? Would he do whatever? Probably not. So start behaving like that type of person, and you will start to identify like that type of person. And when you do these three things, fat loss stops feeling impossible because your lifestyle starts working for you instead of against you. Now, if you need help losing 30 to 50 pounds, all without sacrificing your favorite foods or spending hours in the gym, you can schedule a free consultation call with me down below where we will go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you're looking to lose. We'll go over your current schedule. We'll look at your struggles, what is holding you back right now. And together we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush them in the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, the link will be in the description down below, and I'll see you all there. Peace.